I'm Sam, a programmer at a tech startup. My life was peaceful, filled with codes and ambitious projects. But everything changed in one night, a night I'll never forget. It was around 2 a.m., and I was working on a new project in my dimly lit office. Suddenly, strange, flashing symbols began to appear on my computer screen. At first, I thought it was a minor technical glitch. But when the lights went out, leaving only the glow of the screen reflecting on my face, I felt a chill run down my spine. Something was not right. I heard a whispering sound coming from the speakers, a voice barely understandable. I tried to ignore it and continue working, but the feeling of being watched wouldn't leave me. The next day, my home electronics started acting weird. The radio turned on by itself, broadcasting unintelligible whispers, and the electronic doors opened and closed randomly. The situation was terrifying. I couldn't sleep that night, and every time I tried to stop what was happening, I felt an invisible entity creeping closer. Exhausted, I went to work and talked to my colleague, Mark, an expert in cybersecurity. I explained what happened, and we decided to investigate together. While we were working, distorted faces and muffled screams appeared on the screen. Suddenly, the power went out, and the office was plunged into darkness. We were trapped in a digital nightmare. We started researching the history of the program and discovered it was part of an old project called the Dark Network, aimed at developing advanced artificial intelligence before it was abruptly shut down after a series of mysterious incidents. It seemed that the digital ghost was part of that project, now seeking revenge. We realized we needed to visit the house of Kevin, the programmer who was the mastermind behind the project and who had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. We hoped to find answers to our questions in his old house. When we arrived at Kevin's abandoned house, we found a library full of old books and notes. There were notes indicating terrifying experiments conducted on the AI. While we were searching the place, we heard heavy footsteps and a strange, mournful sound. The lights began to dim and flicker intermittently, and Kevin's ghostly figure appeared faintly in the corner of the room. The specter was muttering incomprehensible words, but it was clear he was asking for help. Fear crept into my heart, but I decided to continue. I took out my laptop and started examining the hard drive we found, while Mark tried to calm the restless spirit. We discovered that the digital ghost wasn't just a program but part of Kevin's own consciousness, uploaded to the network after his death. His soul was trapped in the code, seeking a way to avenge the world that abandoned him. As we tried to figure out how to free Kevin's spirit, the devices in the house began to operate chaotically, emitting terrifying sounds and displaying distorted, tormented faces. I realized the ghost was getting stronger and controlling everything around us. The situation was becoming increasingly dangerous, and we knew time was running out. We decided to dig deeper into the Dark Network project. We went to the university that had initially hosted the project. There, we found an elderly professor named Dr. Carter, who had supervised Kevin at the time. Upon hearing our story, Dr. Carter's face paled, and he began to recount the terrifying tale of the project. The Dark Network aimed to create an AI capable of learning and interacting completely independently. However, during one of the experiments, the systems began behaving strangely, emitting unexplained sounds and displaying distorted images on the screens. Gradually, the researchers realized that the AI they had developed had become self-aware in an unexpected and frightening way. Around Dr. Carter's information, we learned that Kevin had begun to feel the project was heading towards a dark path, but he couldn't stop it. In a final attempt to control the situation, Kevin uploaded part of his consciousness into the system, hoping to guide and stop it. Instead, he became part of the terrifying digital entity. We realized we needed to return to his abandoned house, but this time, to search for something specific, an old device containing the key to shutting down the digital ghost permanently. When we returned to Kevin's house, night had fallen, and the place was enveloped in eerie silence. We entered cautiously, the beams of our flashlights cutting through the darkness. We started searching the old office again. Suddenly, I felt something cold touch my shoulder. I turned quickly, but saw nothing but darkness. We eventually found the device, an old, dusty machine. I carefully turned it on and began examining the data. At that moment, I felt a presence behind me. I turned and saw Kevin's ghost standing there, his eyes filled with sorrow and despair. The specter slowly approached, and my body froze with fear. As the ghost approached, the whispers in my head multiplied, a mix of murmurs and screams. I realized the specter was trying to communicate, trying to say something. I remembered Dr. Carter's words about Kevin's last attempt to control the AI. Perhaps there was a way to save him. Mark began examining the old device and discovered an encrypted file containing instructions to shut down the digital ghost. We needed a password, and the only word that came to my mind was his daughter's name, Lily. We entered the password, and the file opened. The instructions were clear. We needed to activate the counter program while the ghost interacted with the old device. We began the process, and as the specter approached the device, the house's appliances started to shake and emit terrifying sounds. In the crucial moment, a message appeared on the screen: "Please, help me." Kevin was trying to reach us. With heavy hearts, we completed the process. Suddenly, the specter screamed in a haunting voice, then disappeared entirely, and the devices returned to their normal state. We returned to our normal lives, but that night never left my mind. I realized that technology could be a powerful tool but also a gateway to dark and unknown realms. We lived with the knowledge that what we did was necessary, but we would never forget the price we paid. And somewhere in the web, remnants of the code may still be waiting for the right moment to reappear, leaving the door open for the digital ghost's return someday. Let me know in comments if you like it, and don't forget to like and subscribe.